Welcome to this episode of your favorite interior design podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Stuart, interior designer, over-the-top maximalist, and firm believer that animal print, when done well, should be considered a neutral. This podcast is for anybody that has ever looked around their space and thought, this is shit. You deserve better. And through my eclectic career, including multifamily housing, hospitality, senior living, and high-end residential, I've learned that confidence is key. We'll be here each week with industry experts to share their experiences and motivate you to take action and create a space that feels good and makes you proud. I promise it'll be a little bit cussy, a lot sassy, and we'll have a ton of fun. Today on the show, we have Katie Allen. She is a personal stylist with a passion for 90s hip hop and lipstick. Katie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, that was it. I don't know what else to tell you.
There's way more than that.
Just joking. Yeah, so I love personal styling, and my mission really is to let women know that personal styling is like the missing part of their self-development journey. Because I really want people to start looking at style as a thing that we get to do that helps us feel good. Because look, I'm all for meditating, I'm all for journaling and working out and shit, but that happens like at one point in our day, and our outfit goes with us through our whole day. And I just think there's so much power there. So that's my mission. I'm an East Coast girl till I die. Hence the love for hip hop. And, I went to fashion school right in college, and it's only taken me 20 years to get back to actually using that fashion degree, but here we are.
Well, I think it's perfect. So we met, you did a presentation at a networking group that I was in, and we have stayed in touch, and you have styled me for a TV appearance, and we had you, do a closet edit and all these kind of fun things, right? So we stay in touch, and I listened to your podcast. Tell us about your podcast so everyone can find you.
Yeah, I forgot that part. Animal podcaster. I love podcasting. That's really how this whole journey started. So my podcast is called Style for Life. And it's just what I was saying before about using your style as part of your lifestyle. So it's body shape stuff, it's how-to stuff, it's mindset stuff. And I have guests on there. And I've been podcasting in November to be 4 years.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Well, I've been listening for a while. I don't think I've been listening for 4 years, but I do binge the podcast. So I think I'm pretty deep in it and I'm pretty far back. But today we're going to talk a lot about color theory, because you did go to school for fashion. I went to school for interior design. Sometimes you talk about on your podcast the fact that in school, it was always kind of like you guys were the fashion kids, and the other teachers kind of didn't take it very seriously. And I also felt the same way, because when I started in college, I was actually a computer science major. So I had to take the big shift from, this super serious computer science, program where, we're doing all these algorithms and stupid math that doesn't make sense and abstract whatevers. And, and then be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to go do interior design. And it feels kind of frivolous sometimes, and it feels like it's not important. But today we're going to talk about how important it really is and how it makes you feel with your space, and with fashion and interior design collide and intersect. And with that, there's colors, and it's how it makes you feel. So you talked already about that you like fashion because of the way that it makes you feel, and it's part of your journey, right? Well, the same thing I believe with interior design is that if you don't feel good in your space, you don't love your space, you're going to be spending all this mental energy worrying about the baseboards that need to be painted, or the cabinet that doesn't function properly. And if you just fixed it, if you just spruced it up a little bit, throw a coat of paint on, get a new pillow, chop your pillow, fluff your pillow, just something, right? Throw on a pair of earrings, put on some lipstick, you're going to feel better all day long, and you're going to be more productive, and you're going to be able to go out in the world and do all the things you're supposed to do. So with that, I know with all that heavy stuff regarding fashion and interior design, where do you want to start with colors?
Oh, that's so good. I have to touch on real quickly what you said about people not taking it serious. I had and I still might a little bit, have such a chip on my shoulder about that. And I notice how it comes up on my podcast and when I'm talking, and I have to constantly feel like I have to prove it to somebody, but I know that I don't. And it was a long time ago too. So I do think people realize how important art is. And then the older we get, don't we just really understand like the power of and? Because there is science behind this too. Because there's been studies that prove that your anxiety lowers, and if your space is clear and you like your space, or that your productivity is boosted if you like your outfit.
Right, for sure. Well, there aren't any airlines that have the interior of their airline red, right? So we all know what
Yep.
red does to us. It freaks us out. It gets you all hyped up, your
Yep.
blood starts flowing. Why is McDonald's red and yellow? To get you in and out, right? They want you to eat and go and move on. But all of the airlines inside it's blue, right? It's blue, it's calm, it's chill, it's light gray. Everybody wants everyone to be nice, calm, cool, and collected in the airplane, right? So it's the exact same thing with any of your spaces. And you and I have talked about too, how it makes you feel let's just start with the office, right? So we can talk about your closet, because your closet is your podcasting studio, and it is, it's your story. So tell me how you felt going from, you've just recently redone, well, I don't know if it was recently, it feels like it was recent because I watched the transformation, but it feels so good to have your closet redone. So tell everybody about the transformation, what led you to decide to redo your closet, was there a breaking point? And then now, how do you feel showing up in your closet? By the way, if anyone's not watching on YouTube, if you're just listening, that's fine. Go ahead and listen. Also, I would listen on 1.5 because who has time to listen to a podcast on just one speed? But anyways, put it on 1.5, jam through this episode, and then cruise over to YouTube and you can see Katie's closet. It is so super cute and badass. She's got lipstick wallpaper. Are you going to show us? Yes, lipstick wallpaper.
Can you see it? Let me move over.
Yes, we can see it. Super styled. And and then my background is, I've got this brocade teal and gold wallpaper with an antique frame, and it's like all the colors all the time. So tell me was there a breaking point when you decided to do your closet, or how did that happen?
For sure. It's been pretty recent. It's been about a year.
Yeah,
since
yeah.
I did the closet April, May last year. Well, everything started in the closet. Like, I used to come home after work and cry in my closet. Then I actually got fired in my closet.
Oh my God.
Over Zoom. I started the podcast in the closet, right? Because it makes a ton of sense to a podcast. And then when I remembered that I wanted to be a stylist, and then I love fashion so much, it made sense, right? I was in my closet. So I think my breaking point was, well, I wanted to take myself serious, and and it's where I work, and I wanted it to be like, if I'm running a virtual business, when people get on Zoom, and this is how we're primarily connecting, I wanted people to feel like they were having this big experience. And like, let's be honest, we don't hire someone who's like doing exactly what the fuck we're doing. Am I allowed to cuss on your podcast?
Yeah, totally. I even said in the intro, it's cussy, so go for it.
Okay. But like, you don't hire the person who's doing exactly what the fuck you're doing, because that's not inspirational, right? Like, you want the person that's a couple steps ahead of you, that's like living the thing that you want, right? Like, tell me, how do you do this every day? Like, tell me how to, put the wallpaper up or pick the cool wallpaper. So I really wanted to have this like experience when I get on the call with my clients. And I wanted it to be real. And I wanted to feel good. So it's funny that you mentioned blue, because the whole wall over here that you can't really see was blue before I restyled it. It was cluttered. It was, it was the model home. So we had all the base like stuff in it when we first bought it. But once I really started to build up some of that entrepreneur muscle and that confidence in myself, I'm in a local mastermind. And one of the girls was like, it all started with the lipstick wallpaper. She was like, Katie, I just found this wallpaper. I think you need it.
Yeah.
And she showed it to me. Yeah, so she showed it to me, and I was like, I absolutely need it. And I don't know if you can see, but like on the lipstick and the teeth, there's a gap in the front teeth. Well, my daughter, she doesn't have it anymore because she's had braces, but she always had this really big gap. And I always thought it was super cute. And of course, like everyone, they start to build their little insecurities. So when I saw it was not just lipstick and not in my favorite bright pink, but the teeth also had a little gap. So it had so many parts personal connections for me.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, so now I'm going to spend all the money to redo my closet because the teeth have gaps in this pink lipstick.
Well, but look at that. Look at how personal that wallpaper is to you, right? I mean, it's definitely your brand. Your brand, your brand is about lipstick, and you love lipstick, and you have a lipstick kiss, in your, signature all the time. But then also it represents your daughter had a gap. I mean, it just like spoke to you, right? So that's really sweet. That's cute.
So it's like it's inspirational every time like I look at it, like, because any job you have is not easy, but particularly entrepreneurship feels really hard sometimes. So like when I do look at it, like, yes, it's cute and it's inspirational and it's a reminder of who the fuck I am. Yeah. And like you said, it's like my why constantly. I'm like, all right, I'm doing it for you. But yes, it is one of my favorite brand colors. Pink. I did my brand colors before like I ever got the lipstick and things like that. So it made a ton of sense. But essentially my brand colors are and we can like get back into that color conversation, are shades of lipstick, my favorite shades of lipstick. Black and white, because I feel like black and white is just like super iconic when it comes to fashion. And then olive green, because it represents the shade of my eyes.
Awesome.
So if you want to get into all of the color psychology.
I love all of that. And you mentioned, you wanted to kind of level up, right? Is one of the things that you said. And you and I have talked about this too, is that you see people on Zoom and it like the days okay, Katie just rolled her eyes. So everyone listening, I mean, really, and I feel like rolling my eyes too. It's like, it's the days of your laundry in the background are over. The days of not showing up with your, getting dressed for your Zoom calls are over. Katie talked about this on podcast a few weeks ago, I think. And I listened to the podcast and I definitely, I instantly shot her a picture of me getting dressed because I had my shoes on, guys. Like, get your shit together. And it's time to like make your Zoom background really something that people want to look at, like we're all working from home. That's fine. And we're still working from home because now that's just what people do. But now that's your office. It's not a temporary space anymore. So figure it the fuck out. Right. And I was on a call with a girl the other day and it was a weekly call that we were on. And I was like, hey, I love your purple background. That is amazing. She said, you know what I did? I had my colors done and we painted my wall to match my colors. So I was like, that's amazing because you're basically wearing your Zoom background. And I know that you don't have to match your colors, but it's you're wearing your Zoom background. So get it together and figure it out. I don't know. I'm just super stoked about your closet. It just looks so cute.
Thank you. I know I'm like a little perturbed because I think you can see some of my hangers and I usually try to keep them tighter, but I actually use this as my real closet too. So I try to keep it 100. Yeah. Like, this is my closet. So sometimes the hangers are showing, but it's so true. My other thing, like my beef with Zoom, right, is like I said, it's a virtual business, right? Yeah. This is how we're connecting, how we're communicating. It's amazing. We can be anywhere in the world and we can connect and do all those things. But it's also a little bit harder to build really deep connection. It's easier to get distracted. It's easy to be like, oh, my phone's right here. Let me just look because Stephanie's talking for 5 minutes and we have no attention span for anything anymore.
Right.
So that's why it's so important. It's like if you have a visually interesting background, I'm dialed in. If you're put together and you have a really deep look, I'm dialed in. Like I'm paying attention to you. And like the conversation that we had just like around your jewelry, like where I basically styled myself in the beginning of the podcast because, well, I was respecting the meeting. Okay, I curled my hair and did my lips and stuff.
And it looks great. It looks great.
And I have a rule, like if I'm going to be on video, like I try not to show my shoulders because I think that's distracting away from the background and that's distracting away. Like skin can just be really distracting. Right. It's not terrible, but that's not my intention with this podcast. And that's never my intention when I'm showing up on Zoom, at least not with you guys, right? Like maybe with my husband if we're separated.
Like, hey, when's your next business trip?
Yeah, exactly. That's time I'm out visiting you and you see my shoulders, you know what's up.
Strip it off. Oh my God. I know.
Those all the things you got to think about when you get on Zoom. It's like, what do I want my clients to pay attention to? What do I want the person that I'm talking to? And that's my beef with like showing up and having a cluttered background because guess what? You see yourself the entire time you're on Zoom. 100%. How fucked up is that?
I know, it's awful, right? You touch your, well, I remember in the beginning of Zoom, some guy was like, Stephanie, stop touching your face. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I guess I just did that a few times, but it's like, you don't think about, you're sitting there with your hand in your chin or, your whatever. And it's like, oh my God, stop doing that. Right. And you're looking at yourself the whole time. So I remember you saying, if you don't respect how you look, if you're like busy fiddling around with yourself, you're not present. And it's it's something funny about getting dressed for calls. This is how I always do my stuff. And this goes back into a little bit of color psychology, but I learned a while ago from a leader in interior design to dress to match your presentation. So I'm totally outing myself. So all of my clients are totally going to be like hitting on this now. But if we are doing a cool, sleek, contemporary project, that's how I'm showing up. I'm wearing black and white. I'm wearing something a little edgy. Maybe I've got studs on my shoes. But if we're doing a boho project, you better believe that I'm going to be wearing some nice neutrals. Exactly. And something a little bit, something organic and flowy. And you always want to also be in the background. So when I'm presenting in person or even on Zoom, but I want to be in the background of the presentation because I want to let the materials speak for themselves. And I don't want to distract the client, wearing some cobalt blue when we're, doing a neutral room. It's not gonna show well. And people aren't going to really realize that they're distracted. They're just not going to know why something's off. But it's my job as a professional to be able to create that whole entire experience, which is the same thing with your interiors, the same thing with your fashion, right? So I'm using fashion as part of my presentation. In addition, I'm very mindful of what my interior looks like when I'm presenting and how I lay out my presentations in person, because even if somebody doesn't love it or know it's right, they know when it's wrong. You just feel it when it's wrong. And that's where, color can come back into it. So talk to me a little bit about color psychology when you're wearing different things, how you do it.
Oh, so that was so juicy. And I love that. And that's like the fashion psychology behind it. I think that's where you get that difference between I like to use celebrities as an example for this. When you're like, one of my clients calls it like wizardry. She was like, oh my God, this is like fashion magic. It's like the difference between, you're like, I don't know why that person's so good. Like, they both are talented, but like, what sets that person apart? And this is the shit that you can't, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, and you can't figure it out. It's them utilizing those colors and matching their colors. But one of my favorite color psychologies, one, I love what you said about dressing to match like the mood and the theme. And that's like number one, when your style is like, what is your style? Like, we can't do anything if we don't know what that aesthetic and feel is. But like when I was talking about picking olive green as one of my colors, is matching your inherent colors. Like, if you wear your inherent colors, you naturally appear more approachable and more confident, because you're mimicking your own environment, kind of like you were saying, like, oh, I'm mimicking the presentation.
Right.
So your hair, your skin, your lips, and your eyes are your inherent colors. And when you wear those colors, it's like naturally more confident, but naturally
am I wearing my inherent colors?
I think you are, aren't you? Like, yeah. And it just makes you appear, and you have on the flowy kimono. So like, it just makes you appear more approachable. You definitely look confident, right? Because that's part of what confidence is it doesn't mean you're untouchable. You're really approachable, and like someone walk up to you and be like, oh my God, like, I don't know why, I'm just like so drawn to you. And like one of my style teachers was like, anytime she gives a really big presentation, she makes sure that she mixes a power color and an inherent color. So like the power color is almost the opposite of that, right? It's like the striking color that you can be like, oh yeah, I know, I'm the authority, I'm the leader, and I'm gonna wear like olive green fingernails or an olive green shirt.
So can the power color be white? Can the power color be white? So I feel like I'm wearing my power pants.
Yes.
My husband's like, oh, you got your power pants on today. So whenever I wear white pants, I'm like, okay, it's on, like, bring it. We are crushing today for sure.
Well, we have to take a sidebar for white pants. And the night I met my husband, I had on white pants, and I put them on, and I said, these are my Get Me a Man pants.
Yeah.
And that was in the year 2000. That was in the year 2000. And here we are, like 17 years still married.
So definitely your power color, right? You just got white pants. You got to crush it, whatever it is. So you got to have confidence, right, in what you're wearing. And the same thing with your style at home is that we try to help people similar to what you do is say whatever your style is, it's okay. It's okay. And I've had it's fine, whatever it is. You know, if I've had people say, well, why don't you specialize in one style? And I'm like, sure, I would love to do my style all day long. Right. But it would get boring, right? It would be easy for me. I would go to the antique store. I would find these gaudy, huge, big, old frames that that are old as, you can think of. And I would put, a cool picture in them that's a little bit sassy and maybe not traditional. And then I would do a big, bold wallpaper and I would do that over and over. And it's like, why? But the beauty of it is that you and I, right? We get to style people in all different ways. And you were talking to somebody the other day and you were like, yeah, it was another stylist. And you're like, we have different styles ourselves. And that's what the beauty of it is, that it's just bringing out somebody your client's style, because it's all okay, but you just need kind of, a professional to help you like pull it together. It's the same thing with your house, is that some people are so insecure about their house and they are like, I don't want to have anybody over. I don't want to host the party. And it's really sad, right? Because you're like, you're missing out on life because you have an old sofa, or because you just, you need some new pillows, right? I say pillows all the time because I think they're a very simple way to like spruce things up. But I am like,
that's how I feel about belts.
About belts?
Pillows and belts.
Yeah, exactly. I actually need some more belts. Maybe I should put that on my to-do list. But it's like, but you just have to own it, right? You're like, welcome to my home. Sure, I have green sofas in one room and I have blue sofas in the other, and we have hot pink shell chairs with gold, legs. Sorry, Ken, I'm outing us. But we've got wallpaper on the ceiling in the living room. But that's my style and that's how it is. And I want people to understand that there's none of it's wrong, So picking up like the colors, but knowing the tools to do it, right? So the framework.
It's not wrong. And I think the cool thing is most of us are attracted to more than one thing anyway, right? So like in style, most people have like their one dominating. I always say, think of it like a movie, right? You have your star character, and then your supporting actresses. They don't have as big of a role, but without them, the movie wouldn't be as good, right? Or the sitcom, without those like sideline stories, the sitcom wouldn't be that good. You have to have multiple story layers in there.
Yep.
And then like for you and I, like if I'm styling someone that has a different style than me, or like when I did the podcast interview with my friend that's a stylist, radically different styles, but we are learning from each other and pulling from each other all the time, because you're like, maybe I do want to try out, or maybe I'll try this new fabric, that is in my style, but the fabric's inspired by them and things like that. And I think that's the cool part when you get to mix and match, because then you get to let yourself evolve and you get to figure out how to work in. Because in my experience, I don't know about you, like, yes, we always have this one main theme, but there's always like little elements of a different style or aesthetic that like, how do I also work that in?
So in my house, we built out, we remodeled the house, or I guess, I don't know, we just kind of freshened it up. It's not like we moved walls or anything, but it had been, previously, like I'm in Arizona, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and we bought our house about 3 years ago, and we took out all the finishes were kind of Southwestern, right? It was, travertine tile and, a little bit beige and stuff. And so we kind of wiped all that out. We took out the baseboards that had any kind of, movement on them. And we just did straight, simple baseboard shaker style. We went up like 7-inch baseboards and just did some contemporary things. We got an octagon gray tile that kind of looks like concrete, and then wood instead of carpet. And so we just did these kind of modern elements, but then the furniture all inside is, my nice plush, tufted, velvety, whatever. And there's, a few elements of these, simple things that mix in together. But that's also, the same thing that you're talking about with style is to, mix in something simpler with something, I don't know, goopy. I don't know. I don't know what you call like ornate or over the top. What do you call it when it's fashion? What?
Glamorous?
Yeah, glamorous. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I just think of like the very glamorous, like an old Hollywood glam kind of.
Totally. Okay, so I took you away from the conversation about the bold colors and the inherent colors. Okay, so let's talk more about that. Like so your inherent colors you're saying are olive and
brown, and then like I guess a rosy peach for my skin, and then my lips are kind of like a dusty pink. So any of those colors you can mix and match. So like I said, it just makes, it's like olive's definitely not like my power color, but
Mhm.
it'll, if I have an olive shirt on, it makes my eyes look more olive, and or hazel, I guess, because, and it's really approachable, right? Like, so you just
Okay.
look really friendly and easy to talk to and things like that. Because I have a high contrast between like my hair and my skin, and my complexion's pretty bright. Like black is definitely one of my power colors.
Hmm.
So like, as far as power colors go, black, white, and red are the three. But what I like to tell people is like there's shades of red, because all red doesn't look good on everybody. Like we all have our own color palettes. And sidebar, I'm a big proponent of getting your colors done, but I'm also a big proponent of, if you like a fucking color, just wear it. It is
Okay.
your color. If there's something in you attracted to that's attracted to it, just wear it. Like it is your color, right? And we can get into that, right? Like the further you get away from your face, the less it matters, right? Because
Yeah.
all the most of those colors are from shoulders up. So like
Right.
if you love cherry red, but you don't have like cherry red coloring that supports it in your hair, your lips, or your eyes, or you dye your hair and it shifts that, and put it on your shoes, or get a skirt, or like something the further, or a belt, something further away from your face. But I like to just mix and match those and
Hmm.
think about those. I don't, do I have one? I don't think I have on any of my inherent colors right now. Well, I
Well,
do have my Apple Watch. So that's my inherent colors are really good for leather goods.
yeah,
So like I love wearables, but I hate wearables because they're
I
not
know.
very chic.
I know.
So I always pick a skin tone leather, which is one of
Oh,
your
that's
inherent
smart.
colors. So it blends in. I just feel like it's not as offensive. Like it blends in with your skin tone.
That's really smart. I'm going to take that one because I've been really struggling with my Apple Watch because I had a really cool, bougie, big, chunky gold band for it, and it's really cute, and I think it's stylish. But then at the gym, it doesn't really work for tracking my stuff, and it would turn off, and then if you don't track your workout, nobody knows you did it, and then it's not worth
Did
it.
I even work out?
Did I even work out? Why did I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning if it's not going to be recorded in history somewhere? So on my tracker, I want my rings closed. Okay. Close the damn rings.
Every day. I live
Every
from
every
this.
day, just close the rings, okay? And if I have to lower the bar on the ring to get it to close, I will, okay? If it's only 300 calories, I'll change it. I want the ring closed. But my cute
I
watch
love it.
band wasn't cutting it, and it would time out. It would say that I only worked out for 12 minutes, and I was really pissed. And so then I put on this other one, but it shows too much, and it's not it's just bothering me. So anyways, that's another thing to think about when you're looking at your interiors and your fashion is, we kind of hit on this early on, is that if you don't notice it, maybe it's perfect, right? So maybe the
Yes.
thing that you're making go away is the very best thing, and maybe it's the most intentional thing that you did with your whole outfit, right? So you very intentionally chose a watch band that was neutral. And I don't know what I ever made go away. I'm kind of a maximalist. Oh, I know what I did. I made go away my step stool. I am 5'2". I can't reach anything. I need a step stool in literally every room because I'm not going to walk across the whole house to go get another step stool. It just won't get put away.
Not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. So I know myself. So here's a functional design, is that I have a step ladder in my office, and it's gold. Okay. So I went on Front Gate, and I scoured the internet, finally found this really cute, actually gold step ladder on Front Gate. And I don't just have it sitting in the corner. I am hanging it on the wall. It's literally part of my gallery wall, people. I have gold hooks on the wall that are like robe hooks. So they're fairly large. And my stepladder goes back up on my gallery wall with all of my favorite things, my pictures, my sayings, my antique things. Some other, I have a saying here that says, "Sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to come." I mean, there's just all these different things that I love. But I made the stepladder go away. So it's just part of
Yeah.
it, and it's not sitting in the corner. And that's another piece of it, is that it's gold, and it's like a neutral gold, like a washed out. And so it kind of just fades into the background. It's not this big black ladder with red, wires on it.
You just picked up at Target or anywhere. It's really the intention. It's always the intention that
Mhm.
goes behind it. And I think that's the same. That's really the color psychology, right? Is what's the intention of the meeting?
100%.
What's the intention of the whatever it is that you're doing. Like events are a really good one. Like, what's the intention of the event? What's my goal? Am I the presenter? Am I the receiver? Like, what am I doing? And then like getting in and like, okay, so my intention is, we'll just do events, right? Like my intention is to be memorable because it's a networking event and I want to grow my business. Okay, so in order to be memorable, like what am I gonna wear? What color is gonna make me memorable? And if I want to be memorable, let's be honest, I have to feel really fucking confident.
Right.
So then what colors make me feel confident? And like color psychology is color psychology. Different colors represent different things, but also you have to put your own spin on that because people could say like red's a power color and you may hate red. Then
Right.
that's not going to make you feel confident.
So you're not going to show up and that's not going to get you, accomplish your goals.
Yeah. So like I do like red, but I like pink so much more. And specifically like magenta and things like that. So then like that becomes one like my power color. And really it's just another shade of red, right? It just has a little bit more white or purple or whatever in it. So just like maximize it like that, like start to understand yourself. But I think you nailed it. It's just really intention. That's all it is.
Yeah, just know what you want to do with it. So besides pink, and so okay, this is something that always also gets me about color is that people say, "Oh, what's your favorite color?" And I'm like, "Favorite color that I like to wear, or favorite color that I like in life?" Right? Because I feel like they're different. My closet is very colorful, and I wear a lot of patterns and. I, for some reason, I'm really drawn to orange dresses, but I don't know if orange is right for me, but I don't give a shit because if I'm gonna go to something and I have this really cool dress. It's like I don't know if I think it's called like a t-shirt dress, but it's silky, but because it's a button up with a collar, I don't know. And but it's orange, like bright orange with tires on it. And I'm like, if this isn't designery, then I don't know what is.
I know exactly what dress you're talking about.
Yeah. It's actually on my website. I mean, I wore it for my brand shoot, but it was like, if this isn't designery, then I don't know what is. But I lost my train of thought. So I was talking about
like color psychology, picking it out, and
And
well, what color is your favorite color on person and versus in real life?
So I want to ask somebody, what's your favorite color? And they just give one color, and then I'm like, you don't have any kind of stipulations about this. So for you, you wear pink all the time. You like pink. Do you like pink in your house, or what do you like? Or like, are all your things pink, right? Everything's teal. Teal is my, my signature color, I guess, if I was Elle Woods, right? So I've got like a teal, all my mugs are teal. I mean, it's ridiculous. My phone is teal. My favorite chair is teal. So I lose my phone in my house all the time because I just set it on something else that's teal and I can't find it. So is pink your color like through and through, or?
Yeah, my dining room table is like hot pinks.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's more like a corally, but coral pink, not like orange coral.
Yeah.
That was my COVID project in the beginning of 2020. So my dining room is pink. Our bedroom is pink now. I definitely need some interior design energy in my house. But all my go-to is like pink and navy really for my house. So like pink pillows, pink blankets. I just love pink, but it's softer pink though. It's like a really soft baby girl pink because I've been obsessed. And this is why I love color psychology. Like I've been obsessed with pink since Grease when Pink Ladies came out, and I had to have a Pink Ladies jacket.
Nice.
Like had to have it, and it's that soft baby pink, right? And it looks really good. Like this is jacket I have on now is a little bit brighter, but I've been obsessed with it because that's what it makes me think of. It makes me think of like growing up in the 80s and like it was pink, and then like Dirty Dancing was my other favorite movie, and Baby has a pink dress on. Like it's just like that's just me. Like I should have said that in the beginning of the Tell Me About Yourself. It's like I love I don't know if I'd call those show tunes, but I guess that they're show tunes. Like amazing music came from both of those movies.
And they're musicals.
Yeah. They are, yeah. So like that's what pink kind of represents, and it's a really playful color. But it's interesting, like orange. Like orange is one of my brand colors too, because I love an orange lipstick. Oh my God, I love a bright coral orange lipstick. Orange to me is fun. Like pink is like playful and innocent, and it's that's what really it's youthful. Pink is really youthful, right? Like that's what we associate pink is, this really youthful energy, which I will forever have. But orange is fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like orange is let's have a good time. Orange is like Fanta. Right? Do you want a Fanta? Right? Like that's what orange is.
Exactly. Like before you could have a beer, if you're at a party, you're like, oh, they've got Fanta. Like I'm having an orange soda. Like it's really serious party time, right?
Yeah, like we're doing the Macarena, like we're partying, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
But
what
people don't
orange.
wear orange very often. Do you see that? Like I don't feel like
So
maybe I'll notice it more, right? It's like you see there's a car that you want to get and now you start seeing it all over the place. But I just maybe that's why I love it too, because it does feel fun and I love wearing it to events because I'm like, I am gonna be like, oh, she's the one in orange. Oh, whatever. But it's so fun. You feel good.
such a fun color. And and this is why I really like color psychology when we get into brand image and curating like your style to support your brand. So for me, it all started with lipstick shades, but then I was like, if I could really get back to my core values, like humor is one of my number one core values. And then the Style Squad, my whole goal with creating a community is like there's 1,000 communities. Like my goal with it is I want it to be fun.
Yeah.
Like that's my number one thing is I want every time we're on Zoom to be fun. I want everything we do to just be fun.
Yeah.
Because that's what I always felt like sucks about being an adult. Like all the big old vacuum comes and sucks it all out. And it's like, you just can't have fun anymore.
You can't have fun anymore. Well, we can have fun. We have a lot of fun. I know.
We have a lot of fun.
I know it's awful. It's like so one of our hashtags is don't be boring. And, that's one of my core values is like, I was a Toastmaster, which is boring. I guess if anyone doesn't know what Toastmasters is, it's a speech club for adults to learn how to give speeches and to do public speaking. And it's an international organization, but it's not cool, but you learn a lot. And I really loved it. But I was just like, I just don't want my speeches to be boring. Like that is the worst possible outcome. What could possibly happen? What could go wrong? I'm like, it could be boring. Like that's really the worst possible outcome for me. So like, oh, your zipper can be down. Sure. But if it's boring, I'm going to die. Like wardrobe malfunction, whatever. We all have stuff, but if it's boring, then that's really the worst thing that could possibly happen. So
like I gave a presentation to a local college on style and like dressing for your job interview. And the worst, I'm sure the content was great, but I was like, y'all aren't laughing at my jokes. And like, that hurts me way more than anything. I know that I'm 40 and you're like 20, but I'm funny.
Get your shit together and muster up a laugh. Okay. This is how this goes.
Damn it.
They're just
so why is the only person laughing the other 40-year-old?
Yeah, exactly. This is not right. Well, that's the thing is because they're all just so stuck in like, with COVID, they're all COVID, zombies because no one could see any facial expressions and they've like missed this, 3 years of their life where they can like understand facial expressions. So actually it's not that funny, but it's like, come on, let's all laugh, people, and let's be, together and be humans, right? And I don't know, those kind of things are. Well, I have a question for you about people that are afraid of color, because I know, sure, you can be powerful and wear black and white, or if I'm dressing for a presentation and I want to be neutral, but what tips do you give, or how do you work with people that really want to wear color? Let's talk about something. We don't want to push anyone to do what they don't want to do, right? If you want to wear neutrals your whole life and everything you buy is black, sure, go continue to buy everything black. But if you want to wear color, what do you tell people to like get started, or what do you do? How do you work with that client?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first, it's all mindset. Like, if anyone's scared to wear colors, it's mostly because they don't want to be seen, or they just don't trust themselves picking out what colors look good on them. Like that's the number one thing I hear. It's like, well, I just don't know what looks good on me. One, like, what colors do you like? That's why, like, as a stylist, like the one thing that drives me nuts, and I do it too, and I've trained in it and I've paid thousands of dollars to learn it, is like putting people on colored seasons, right? Yes, there are colors that will look good on you, but most people can't tell the difference unless it's super obvious between warm tones and cool tones. So people just don't really trust themselves because we made it really, really scary. So number one is like, what colors do you like? Like, just what colors do you like? Fucking wear them and buy them. But I know that's not the answer anyone wants. So
just fucking wear them and buy them. That's the advice.
That's not helping you. I know. So if you just listen to my set Set a 10-minute, even 5-minute timer and get on Pinterest. Pinterest is your friend. It is your friend, right?
Okay.
It's social media, but it's not real social media. You don't have to compare yourself to anybody. You don't have to get down a rabbit hole. Set a 5 to 10-minute timer and blind save the things that you like. Like go look at clothes and styles that you like and just blind save them, create a folder. And then after that timer goes off, go back and look. You'll see what colors you're naturally drawn to.
Okay.
Like don't put any stipulations. It's like free writing, right? It's free pinning. Like don't put any stipulations. Just save the things that you like. And you're going to learn so much more. You'll learn not just colors, but you'll also learn what silhouettes you're attracted to. You'll learn like, oh my God, I actually like skirts. I don't own a skirt. Like this happens every single time I have a client do this. We get so many ahas out of it, whether it's their style aesthetic that starts to come through, whether it's the colors that they like. And every single time, like that's the people who are willing to do this work have the biggest transformations because it's only about knowing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to uncover yourself. I can give you 1,000 tips. Like if you have blonde hair and blue eyes, then you should wear this minty green and lavender. I can tell you that 1,000 times over. But if you don't know yourself, like just none of it matters. So that's because I think most people are visual and we want to just see it.
Mm-hmm.
And you go blind save, go back and look, don't judge yourself. And you'll see the patterns start to hop out and guaranteed that it'll start to shine through. It'll be so much easier than you think to just like in that 10-minute exercise, you'll learn more about yourself and your style and your preferences than any journaling session, visualization session, anything.
Okay. The most hilarious part about that is that I do something similar with interiors. And I tell people, send me your inspiration images. Do not think or worry about why you like the picture, right? And I will be able to pull out common threads. You might see one that's completely different. You look at one picture, you look at another, and you see them and you're just like, these look so different. Why do I like that? And then I can start to see, I can see the trends, or once we talk through the trends, but you can see the trends. But it's so funny how they're so correlated. And I would have never thought, oh, I do this with my clients with interiors and try to get their trends and see what they like. I'm going to do the same thing with my style and do it on Pinterest. It's like, it does not, if we're not in that zone or a professional in that industry, so you just cannot compute. Like I for sure know that there's no way I can pull a backyard plan together like a landscape architect. And somebody said to me, Stephanie, it's just like an interior, but it's the outside. You make rooms, you make areas, you make destinations. And I'm like, I don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I understand what you're telling me, but it does not like translate to me. But for you to say the same thing that you're doing with fashion, I mean, they're just so closely related that, I mean, it's funny because it works. It really works because people are just doing what they like and then you start to see it.
Actually, when I do like real color work, like when people go through my signature styling program and I do real color work, I always want to see your fashion because I just want to know what you're attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do color work, I actually tell them to save 10 photos of everything except style. I say, go on Pinterest and save your favorite art, save your favorite interiors, save your favorite nature pictures. I want to see everything that you're attracted to except clothes.
Yeah.
And then you can go and you'll see that exactly what they save there is exactly, I can match up their outfits to the scenes that they've saved. I'll just show you behind the scenes. And you can start to create people's outfits based on like how they dress and I mean, how they style their homes or what they like in nature, because what you like is what you like.
Right.
It's just a reflection of who you are.
Right.
And once people just let everything else go and just say, it's literally just a reflection of who I am in this moment.
Yeah.
Then it's really not that scary. Like you don't have to like anything. No one's judging you. Mm-hmm. It's just like who you are in that moment. And that's how I do my color work is I actually, I always do it based off of everything but fashion. Cause I want them to build self-trust that this is a reflection of them. And it's not just about, you know, like whoever your favorite influencer is in the moment. These are things that I use interior design analogies all the time because with body confidence stuff can get really hairy and scary. And we put a lot of guilt and shame. And we're like, I shouldn't have ate the donuts. Now I can't fit into that dress that Katie and I picked out and things like that. So I use interior design analogies constantly for styling your body. Like you wouldn't put all your furniture on one side of the room. Okay, we're not gonna put all your accessories on one part of your body.
You make it sound so simple. But
so easy. easy.
So easy. Just do it. No, I
I mean,
know.
honestly, Nike, like, just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. Well, I was thinking one thing that I've started to do that I love is when I travel now is I buy something like a clothing or a scarf or jewelry instead of buying a souvenir. And it's so fun because I've been doing that for a few years now. And I can, kind of remember all of the things that, when I buy, I'm like, oh, I bought this in Barcelona or, whatever. We were in Washington. Remember, we were in Washington at so-and-so's wedding and we went downtown for brunch and whatever, bought some stuff. And it's so much fun to, again, you just buy what you like, right? And then you incorporate those in. And for people travel, and that probably comes from my interior design because people buy knickknacks and art and, little statues and stuff when they travel and they use them for interiors, but they are always, not always, but often people are, kind of frustrated that they don't fit in their design, right? It's like, okay, sure, you bought some, Asian artwork that doesn't go with your, contemporary, whatever. But I love to make that work because it's just what you love. Like, we keep saying just, and, but it is, it's really what you love. You want to surround yourself with, you want to wear, and you will be confident. Look, when you have somebody over, if you can learn how to display all of your travels in a way that, go cohesive, you're like, this is my gallery wall of all of my art that doesn't match, but it goes because it has a story. You tell people about that. When I go into somebody's house, they're like, we got this piece of art here. We got this piece of art here, and that's what it's about, right? It's about being surrounded with things that you love. So I don't know.
Like, we're so multifaceted as people and we wear so many different hats and we feel like we have to fit into these perfect little buckets. And it's like, you're never going to fit into a perfect little bucket. And if you adjust, no, I'm just joking. And, embrace that, you can make it work. Like I was thinking about this earlier when you're talking about your footstool. I get a lot of clients, and I don't know why I track this, but I get a lot of clients who have things with their feet and they really aren't, whether they've been dancing for years or they have like, I don't know, I'm not trying to put anyone's like feet things. And I'm like, okay, so we're wearing really cute stylish tennis shoes. Now that's the part of you. As a society, we're really casual, right? Like that's where we're at right now in our societies. We're really casual. So that's going to be the part of your look that's casual. And we're going to style around it.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's who you are. That's where you are. And nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, I told you the other day, I went to coffee with our friend Savannah, and I was like, okay, I know that she's not going to be dressed up, and I love to dress up. I feel so uncomfortable in casual clothes, I have to tell you. And you always say you're like a t-shirt and jeans girl and tennis shoes and whatever. And it's like, I have one pair of Converse that I bought like forever ago, and I've never worn them. Well, I maybe worn them once or twice. And if I put on tennis shoes, my family's like, what is wrong with you? I wear flats, like pointy flats for my installs. So when we do an interior design install, we're running around people's houses. I mean, it's really manual labor. You're sweating, and I wear flats. Okay. I just can't sometimes do the tennis shoes. So anyway, I went to coffee with Savannah, and I'm like, okay, we were just like, hey, let's go to coffee. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to dress casual, right? It's a Saturday or it's a Sunday morning, like whatever. I was so uncomfortable, and she was just dying at me because I couldn't handle not having on jewelry or like whatever. But I mean, it's really what you're comfortable in, right?
But what if you over accessorize your jewelry and your makeup when you wear real casual clothes?
Yeah.
Like that's what I try to do. I like will wear like a really big cocktail ring and my brightest lipstick. And that's why I feel comfortable in jeans and a t-shirt, because I'm like, I know my shit is snatched, regardless if it's jeans or t-shirt or not. Okay. I got a full face of makeup and everything. And that's why I feel comfortable, because I'm like, all right, like I know that but that's just my style too, right? Like I know my style is like a cat. It's really kind of sporty, honestly.
Well, and for me, casual, honestly, I mean, this is the thing, is a sundress is so simple. I mean, it's like wearing pajamas. Come on. You put on one piece and then you put on some jewelry and some sandals, and it's literally three pieces of clothing. And people are like, wow, you look so good. And you're like, I'm literally wearing a sundress, like one simple piece of, I didn't have to tuck anything. I didn't need a belt. I don't have to roll my pant legs. I don't have to do anything. And it's one piece, and people are just like over the top of it. So when I say like casual, like that's casual, but I accessorize it. So anyway, that's how I go. But okay.
You could wear a belt.
Okay. I do. We need to have a belt. You were talking about belts earlier. I'm like, I do need some belts. belts because I just do. I need some new belts. So we'll have to take that offline. That might be a serious conversation. We have to get through some shit with that. But I have to do some journaling about how short I am. What?
Yeah, everybody has beef with belts, but belts are just like an easy way to build, like create your ratios, right, on your body. And then just depending on where you want to put it on your body, depending on if we're balancing our top or our bottom. Because like for me, like I have really big boobs, right? So if I have on like something that's high neck, I absolutely need a belt because I have to break up those proportions or I just look even bigger than I really am.
Yeah. I always wear a belt with my pants, but I don't wear belts with my dresses. So I don't know. I have to figure that one out. But they're like, what kind of stretchy belts do you buy? I mean, it feels like what kind of belt do you wear with a dress? You don't wear like a regular belt.
No, just like you said, like just a stretch belt. And like right now for the summer, like raffia, something really natural looking that still looks real summery, right? And that's like the number one trend accessory right now. It's like Banana Republic has really good stretch belts. Nordstrom has some. I can't think. I feel like I'm really on the spot. I know Banana has a really good one right now. Something that's just super neutral, so you can wear with everything.
Well, I'll have to hit up the Style Squad this month or next. I don't know even what day it is right now. But tell us, okay, so is there anything that we missed on color theory that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get to hit on?
Oh my God, I mean, we could go down so many rabbit holes, but I think we hit some really good ones, right? Like just the Pinterest exercise is amazing if you really want to learn like what colors you're attracted to. I think the big styling secret out there that a lot of stylists use to create some of that magic is inherent colors, using those colors.
And so recap that. So those are the colors of your personal.
Your eyes, skin, hair, and lips. Okay. So like your natural coloring. So, and it's really good for your leather goods. So like if you have brown hair, you should, not saying you can't wear black, but if you don't have black anywhere else in your outfit, you should be wearing brown leather goods. Now that's a real big fucking fashion rule. And I'm all about knowing the rules and breaking the rules. But if you want to look really polished, it's a super easy way to look polished. So like if you have on jeans and a blazer and a t-shirt and none of it's black, don't put on black shoes, put on dark brown shoes if you have dark brown hair, put on nude shoes if you have blonde hair. If your hair is black, then wear your black shoes.
Okay. I love that. Okay.
And that one's
so much information. Okay. And so then tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, you can hang out with me on Instagram, Katie Allen Stylist, or you can listen to the podcast, Styled for Life. If you want a little bit more juice, I do have an online style community called the Style Squad. It's high-level entrepreneurs. It's fun. So we come in there and you're all business women. And we share everything from business books that we're loving. We share what's going on in our business with everyone in there. Because at the end of the day, it's really there to support each other. But first and foremost, we really get help on, styling for what's coming up in our lives, sharing our beauty secrets, getting all the deets on where to shop. And I've run everybody through different, tips and strategies and different things like that every single month on how to get dressed so they feel really good.
And I love the community part of the Style Squad, with the, messages like showing outfits and, to everyone checking, like, is this right? Or is, what would you do here? And yeah, so I'm sure.
It's so fun. So like and it can be work related or personal. Cause I mean, when it's your life, right? So either it's entrepreneur or CEO of your life or whatever that is. Like we just had one of our Style Squad members was getting ready for a wedding next week. And I was like, okay, so you've got to post this next week and share with people because it's super cute.
I love it. Well, it's all, it's accountability, but also it's, like, oh, if she could do it, I can do it. Right. And so everyone just like,
And it's amazing because people are just like showing up and like, there's like a whole different group of people. And there's women in there that if you ask them, would say they're absolutely not stylish. And they're the ones giving the best style advice. This is not just the Katie show, right? It's a community. And I'm like, dang, that's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so inspiring.
Yeah, that's great. Well, high tide rises all ships, right? So it's a lot of fun and it's great to have the community. So, well, I love the, angle that you come from, of course, that it is, about life. I always say if I'm having a bad day, if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I dress to the nines. And by noon, I am flying high because, all it takes is a few, great hair, and you're like, yep, it sure is. And then you forget about whatever you were grumpy about. So
Oh my God, yes. I remember one of my clients said I woke up and I felt like shit, so I put on my favorite outfit and I was like, yes, if we all would do that instead of being like, I feel like shit, so I'm just gonna like not get
Yeah.
dressed. I'm just gonna put on these shitty stuff. Now I just
Yeah.
feel more like shit.
Yeah, you want to be a martyr? Then go ahead, put on your shitty clothes with the holes in them. And also, who has holes in their clothes? We were talking about like it's like get rid of your worst outfit. You should still feel great in, right? Like maybe have some painting clothes, sure, but they are only for
Hey.
painting. Only for painting. So, anyways,
And
just
do not keep them in your closet with your regular clothes. Like those get archived somewhere else. That's a tool that you're using for something else. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, those dresses that you wear on Halloween, because I do this on Halloween or
yeah,
to weddings, they don't live in your real closet. They live in an archived closet. My daughter hates clothes, so I use her closet. But put them in your hall closet, put them in your guest closet, whatever. They do not go in your real closet because don't give yourself the option to pick those. Well,
yeah,
you're not going to pick them in.
yeah.
Hopefully, you're not picking the cocktail dress. You might pick the shitty sweatpants.
Just get it out of your purview. Just don't even think about it. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. It was really great chatting. We had so much fun. And I don't even know what I'm going to pick for the little blurb because there's too much information here. So maybe I'll do like 14 of them and they'll go all over the place. But anyways.
And we'll just blow up Instagram.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. If you loved this episode, please take a moment to leave a 5-star review on your podcast app. You'll be entered in our monthly giveaway for a special gift. Share this episode by taking a screenshot and sharing it on your favorite social app. And don't forget to tag us at Stuart Design Co. and let your friends know where they can get interior design support too. Remember, a year from now, you'll wish you had started today.